Okay, this is a video about the problems I'm having with the battery on my mobile phone. The basic situation is that the battery went completely flat after charging it all night last night. Okay, I'm currently driving, currently on a caravan trip, and we're in a place called Ashford, near Ashford, at a free camp, right? And this is what it looks like where we are. Alright, there's the caravan. Oops. There's the caravan. This is where we are. Over there's a toilet block. Some other campers over there. It's supposed to get this advantage of free camping. Alright, you can sit yourself up and do this sort of thing. Now, situation is, woke up this morning and the battery, if we just go back to this main screen, let's just come out of that. Right. At the moment it's only 30% up the top where you can see the battery's only about 30%, alright? And it's been charging practically all day, alright? And when I woke up this morning it was 0%. And I had to connect it up to charge it for quite a while, and then it got up to about 5%, and then I got it going. More about that later on. Okay, what's the problem with all this? Well, the problem with this is that my battery's not running very well on the phone. So first of all, how do I charge my phone when travelling in a caravan is the next thing I wanted to show. Alright, what I do is I have a cable that looks like this, alright, which on this particular phone is a USB-C cable. Alright, on other phones, my wife's phone, which also has a problem with charging, is a micro USB connector. The advantage of the USB-C connectors, they go in either way in the end of the phone. Can't show you this phone, but if I plug it in at the bottom, it goes in either way. How do I charge it? I charge it via one of these little devices. Alright, these are cigarette lighter type things. I have one like this. Alright, there's a three-way one, and only has one device in it at the moment. I can have up to 3 other devices. Just to show you when I'm travelling in the car. In the car, I have one as well. Alright, and down on the console, that's it there. That's a 3-way one as well, different brand. Okay, using both of those, I've had at different times the battery not fully charging up, so I don't know if it's that device. What it could be is the actual leads, the plug-in, the older type leads like these ones. That's a USB, micro USB connector. It's not going to focus on that, is it? Alright, it's a micro USB connector. Alright, so it could be those sort of those cables that are the problem. I've tried different cables, that doesn't solve the problem. When I'm running from the car, when we're not in the car, that lead that I showed you before comes from this battery. It's wired to that big battery that's underneath the caravan there, on the drawbar of the caravan. Some caravans have the batteries on the inside. That battery gets charged from an Anderson plug, which is down here. Alright, that's connected to the car. It's isolated from the car. Power goes along here into that battery. Then via a fuse box in there, the cable that comes out, runs across here and plugs into that socket there. Now, one of the problems with these sockets could be, I found just a while ago, could be a situation, if I get this one here and show it, each of these sockets has a little pin at the end there, and they have to sit in the cigarette lighter, the old cigarette lighter thing, by friction. This one actually, and then I noticed today, this one has, it's good, it has a little light on it, so the little blue LED light there, which indicates that there is power on. But if I were to pull that out a little bit, that light goes off. The light is off now. Push it in enough, and put it in focus, the light comes on. So I usually make sure the light's on. So it could have been a situation last night when I was charging it up that I didn't have, it wasn't pushed in all the way. Perhaps that's the reason, I don't know. By the way, little device I bring with me. That's what the current temperature is, 29.1 and 33% humidity, and it's 3:42 in the afternoon. Going in here, just show you how I know how much voltage I've got on the caravan battery. This is inside the caravan, inside the caravan I have another cable. It comes up to here, and Mark's going to hold the cable for me while I show you how I check the voltage. Alright, so you just put it between there. There's the, can we see the multimeter? Alright, I'll switch it on. Let's see what the power is showing there. It's next to nothing, a couple of milliwatts. I take these two connectors, I plug one in into the middle of that one to the side of that one, and if you look down there, it's currently showing 12.83 volts, more than enough power to power everything. Okay, 12.83. When we stopped it was 12.95 or something like that. It dropped a little bit. Don't know, didn't use much power. A couple of things on. Okay, so that's the situation of where we're at now. So we've got power, that's how I use the power, right? What can you do about a mobile phone that doesn't charge up like that? And by the way, this is not only happening to my mobile phone, it's happening to multiple mobile phones. It's also happening to Margaret's mobile phone as well. Her phone doesn't charge up all the time. Okay, going back to my list of things I want to talk about. Not just my phone. What I've done to try to isolate the problem. Well, what I've done in the past, I've changed the cables. All right, I bought new cables. Originally, let's go back to this cable. I usually buy these cheapy cables. All right, I buy them for MSY for a couple of dollars. All right, so a few years ago I decided to buy more expensive cables. I bought one of $16, $18 at Dick Smith when they were around years ago. I found that was no better than the cheapy cables. I ended up taking the one back to Dick Smith 3 or 4 times until eventually it almost fell apart. All right, and having cheaper, the more expensive cables don't seem to do as any better job than the cheapy cables. I just go through lots of cables. All right. What else have I tried? I've tried different adapters. As you can see, I've got this adapter and I've got the other one in the car. I've got a couple of other ones. That doesn't seem to solve the problem. What I really want to know is it charging properly? So I looked it up on the internet, and when I looked it up on the internet, I came across this program called AMP or something like that. So to show you what that is, all right, I slide across here. Here's this program here, AMPI, AMPERE, AMPI. So I start that program. Okay, so I'm doing now. It comes up and tells me the battery's not charging because I currently haven't got it plugged in, but it's plugged on battery. Battery level's 31%. Interesting thing here, this health good. Okay, so it's telling me the battery health is good. Now I don't know what that battery health good means, but it's saying the voltage is currently 3.596 volts, which is probably enough. And this tells me the manufacturer of the phone, the model, Android version, and what the build number of it is. If I now take my cable, I'm grabbing it and plugging it in. This comes up. This now says it's charging. And it's measuring. So it's going to measure how much voltage is. Sorry, it knows what the voltage is. Voltage is now gone up to 3.599, 3.608, and now telling how many milliwatts it's doing. Now, interesting. Just move the cable and it says it's not charging. So is this a faulty cable I'm having a problem with? Now it's saying it's not charging. The cable's connected up. I'm saying it's not charging. Why? So that would seem to indicate to me that it's a faulty cable, even though it's all connected up. So I'll unplug it, plug it in again, plug the cable in again. Alright. Still says it's not charging. It's down to 19 volts. How come? Not charging. The cable's plugged in. Try one other little thing. I've got an outside case for this. I'll take off the case, then charge it back in. Okay, it says not charging. Ah, now it says this is charging. It's now it's saying not charging again. Power connected, power disconnected. Not charging. What's going on? I think it's a cable in this particular case. Right? Now it's saying it's charging, it's measuring. And the light's coming on. By the way, you can't see this, but at the bottom of my phone there's a little light indicating that it's charging. It's charging 870 milliamps. That's another thing I've discovered about these phones. And it says not charging again. And then it says it's measuring again. And it says power connected. So it seems to be jumping back from charging and not charging, charging and not charging, even though the light on the phone is saying it's charging all the time. Alright. Okay. Well, interesting concept. So perhaps this is a one way of checking if you've got a problem with your phone, to use this AMPERE. Where do you get it from? You get it from the Google Play Store. Alright. I actually installed this on Margaret's phone as well, and it came up with some sort of message saying that this phone does not support this particular program, so it doesn't look like it works on all phones. Yeah, gone off again, says not charging, it's power disconnected, power connected. Why? Why is it doing this? One would seem to indicate that it's a faulty cable. Oh, looks like buying another cable again. Alright, so I'll go around and buy yet another cable. Unfortunately, I haven't got another spare cable this type. Perhaps that's what happened last night. And then my battery's down to 19% because I'm recording all this. It's chewing up power. Anyway, that's the situation. I'll just go back and mention one other thing that I wanted to say. What I've done to try to isolate the problem, well, you've seen what I've done there. Too many variables. There's the cable. Sometimes I've got an adapter on the cable. Sometimes it's the plug-in thing. There's a whole lot of adapters on. The AMPHI program, I just showed you that. Now, I can't find anywhere that something that shows the consumption and charging at the same time. For example, that AMPHI program I was using a second ago, that tells me how much is charging. There is a way of measuring how much power your phone has used, right? And I'll show you what that is. Go and do that. Ah, here we are. I've got this message. See that message that jumped up? It says overcharging. So I wonder if that's what's causing the problem. The phone thinks it's being overcharged, and as a consequence, it cuts out the charging. Yeah, that message, I tried looking that message up on the internet. Now I've got that recorded, I'll be able to look it up again. Try to do a screen capture that it comes away and comes up and disappears all the time. Okay. I just mentioned before, how do I work out how much the phone is actually charging, how much power the phone is actually used. If you go down and swipe down and you go to the battery usage, this is telling you what the battery usage. Alright, I've probably got 51 minutes left on the battery, but it's not charging. It's not saying it's not charging, therefore it's not doing anything. That's why I unplug it again, unplug it in again. It'll think it is charging. Yeah. More settings. Alright. Okay, go into more settings. Since it was last fully charged, this tells you how much all the various applications and how much power they use. But that's useless to me. What I need to know is, as I'm using the phone, how much power it's using. Because it'd be nice to know how much power the phone is using and how much power it's being charged with. That way you can see if it's actually discharging at the time or the power is going up. Haven't found an app that does that for me yet. Okay, go back to this one. Still says it's not charging. Unplug it again and plug it in again. Perhaps it's it's a combination of two things. It's the adapter, this adapter here. Where are we? This adapter is overcharging, but also says the same thing on the other adapter that's in the car. Perhaps it's a fault in the phone and it thinks it's being overcharged and isn't really being overcharged. Is that a possible situation? Who knows? Okay, all right. Going back to my original thing, Where are we? Chrome. Can't show the consumption of the sun. What does the good health mean? Remember looking at, I mentioned that before. When it says that the health of the battery is good, what does that mean? Another thing I'd like to know is how many times has the battery been cycled? Like if I get some things on my computer about the battery on the computer, and there is some software that actually shows you how many times the battery has been discharged and recharged, how many times it's cycled. I haven't, I'll have to have a look, but I haven't found anything, any apps on the phone that tell you doing that. Okay, so the point being is a lot of people probably throw their phones away thinking the battery's had it. This battery's a couple of years old. They probably think I should throw it away. And I think there are problems with the whole thing to do with batteries and phones. So that's some of the issues with it. Okay, coming back to me. Alright, switch over to a different camera. There we are. And there's me talking about how to issues with a mobile phone, doing this while I'm out on a caravan trip. By the way, another little issue, if you I try to do all this in a program that I use, which is this program here, that one, YT Gaming, which I normally use to record videos like this and puts it directly onto YouTube. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do that, so I've had to revert to this program because I wasn't able to do that because Google, in their wisdom, have changed their policy and said that unless you have 1,000 subscribers on your YouTube channel, you can't stream from a mobile phone. So I've had to use this one here, which records all this, and then I have to upload it to YouTube, which is a real pain because it takes ages and ages and ages to upload it. Anyway, that's it. Enough for the moment. Back to me again, and I'll say goodbye. There's the camera. Cheerio. Got any questions or got any answers to these problems? Send me an email. Bye. No, didn't power off. It's supposed to stop the video. How do we stop the video? Stop.